reaction? Do you expect any changes from the March session?
It will be a surprise to actually experience anything new. Following the standing orders of the House and following the Constitution of Cameroon, bills that are supposed to be tabled are supposed to come from the government as well as some private members in the House. And before these bills actually get to the place where they need to be debated upon, they have to go through the chairman conference. And you know, it is just but normal that nothing that will be raised by anybody concerning the Anglophone crisis will actually feature on that particular standing order, or let's say in the House. That's already give you an understanding of the fact that we are living in a nation where the Constitution itself has imprisoned Cameroonians. We are in a nation itself where we are not given the opportunity to actually express ourselves. When I say given the opportunity, through our representatives, because even those whom we are expecting that should be the ones that will be representing us, they are actually having little or no power to do so. Our nation is a nation that is more of a presidentialist nation. The leadership style is not a constitutional or might be a parliamentary system where the parliament has more power. No, it is the president who decides everything in this country. So, my brother, to tell me that there's going to be another discussion concerning the Anglophone crisis is something that's not going to happen.
Professor Akumbo,
yes,
I'm not cutting you short, but I want you to throw more light. How do you look at a country like Cameroon with separation of power, where we have the judiciary, the executive, we have the legislature, the executive, and you say it is determined, everything is determined by President Biya, when we just had the 2018 municipal and legislative election that was called by Elekam, not President Biya, where we had the Constitutional Council sitting in place by Clement Natangana, not President Biya, where we have the Prime Minister of the Republic. I don't want you to throw more light on that.
Thank
because
you
we
very
see
much.
The structures.
Okay.
We saw the just ended regional council election called in by Elekam and not President Biya.
You have pointed some good issues there, but I should ask you the question: who appoints these persons in question? Who appoints the chairman or the president of the Constitutional Council? Who appoints the president of the Elekam? Who appoints? Who appoints? Who appoints? So, let's come back to elections. The elections that we witness is a civil right that we need to all respect, which is good. But like I pointed out, you just mentioned concerning the separation of powers. I want to go back and say something. When you go through the 1996 Constitution, you get to discover that the framers of that Constitution had a government favor. In fact, they had the government, they were members of the government. Because I will be saying that based on the fact that when you go through, it is just a copy of the Constitution of the Fifth Republic of France, which actually takes away power. Because if you go looking at the Third and Fourth Republic of France, you discover that it was a constitution that favored a parliamentary system, where the parliament had more power. And when it came to their Fifth Republic, they changed it to give the president more power. And Cameroon just copied that and instituted. It is true when you go through the constitution, you find in it, it seems as if there is the doctrine of the separation of power instituted in it. When you go through it, you think that there is, Cameroon has actually respect what I see in there, because you see the doctrine of popularity sovereignty actually in it. When you go through it, you might want to believe that we have a representative, they respect that doctrine of representative
Might, don't
government.
we have?
I didn't get you.
Might, don't we have?
You see, like I said, it is something that is not true, because the reality in play is based on the fact that every power comes from the president. If the National Assembly needs to come and sit, have a session, it must come from the president. Is that the way it's supposed to be? So if the president decides that there's going to be no session, then there will be no session.
Okay.
And so those are some of the things you should get to understand. It means that it is a presidentialist nation.
Okay.
Cameroon is a presidentialist nation, which we should just in one way consider it to be a kingdom.
Okay.
The only limitations in it is the fact that we have elections which we do elect individuals, whom we come and call them representatives of the people, who go and sit in a gathering and claim that they are talking for the people when they are practically not talking for the people.
Back to you, Professor Mark.